time when
Okay.
we lived over there. Buzz was a couple of years older than Steve, and he was 16 and Steve wasn't, and they still ran together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom was going to look into that because I think
Uh, Cliff Weigel, I imagine
he's long
long
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
But he took Steve and Buzz out to Cypress Island deer hunting. And I guess it sounded like World War III out there. But they got one doe.
One doe.
They both shooting at it.
So do you have any pictures from when you were on the island?
Well, I got that one right there. And
Okay.
that was in a calendar.
Want me to get it?
I got it.
So you don't have any pictures of the farm, do you? Of the Wiesner farm. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
It was on a
And
calendar.
that was in All West Breeders calendar. And
Oh, well, this has been since.
it's
It's
newer.
new.
Yeah. But I don't have any of the old house on the hill and how with the machine shed and the breast shed and silo and all that. I don't have any of those pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bob Porter was redoing this.
Oh,
That's why it's all the scaffolding and
yeah.
stuff.
Now, did he finish it or is it just like that?
Do you know Bob Porter?
No.
He was married to my cousin Linda Hofferkamp.
That looks like that's been painted since when Porter did it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what.
Well, somebody said they were doing helicopters or something there.
Bob does helicopters,
Yeah,
but he's
Had
not supposed.
helicopters in there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I understood. But that was in a calendar.
That's weird.
So I cut it out and
Somebody gave it to you. Who was
yeah,
it?
Dave.
Dave?
Van Bruggen.
Dave Jake?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see it in a
Yeah,
catalog, a calendar.
because this is.
Well, one of the guys that worked for All West lives over on.
Yes,
Guemes
that's the
Island.
Bush.
Is that a bush?
Alan
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah. Okay. And then
His
he
son.
took the pictures, and then when they made up their catalog for the year, that was one of the pictures in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like the Cattlemen's Association?
Yeah.
Yeah. His
yeah.
wife still is in that.
This would be Junior because he's the one that works for the All West Breeders. And this is an All West Breeders catalog or calendar.
Right, but Alan Sr. started it.
You still got your cows, Marv, or did you kind of get rid of them?
No, we're working together with them.
I see two of everybody here.
That's it.
And Red Angus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're haying right now, but today it's supposed to rain, so
Now, do you square bales or do you do the round bales now?
square.
Square bales?
Yeah, Veals do the round bales.
Yeah. Well, my niece and her husband, they have both, and
Machines to do 'em.
yeah, both machines to do. And if it looks like it's going to rain, they round bale it, and if they can get it dry, they'd rather have it in the square bales because they can sell the square bales easier than the round bales.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they go both ways on it.
Do you remember what your dad grew on this farm?
Oats, cows, and pheasants. Remember the pheasants, Marv?
Huh?
Remember the pheasants when Dad was over there?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder he didn't go to jail.
Did somebody plant those pheasants or?
I mean, that one hill there was just like pheasants were like a chicken yard.
Yeah.
And I bought me a shotgun that year, and all of a sudden,
They're gone.
when it come time to hunt, there was no pheasants to be seen.
Do you want me to show you?
I thought I was going to get a bunch of pheasants.
I hope you don't mind.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna do it actually,
Dad,
because I can't see Marv.
he
Good.
poached some, and he was taking some pheasants to Grandma. And the ferry was down, so he was riding. He just had them in a shopping bag on that boat that used to come over and get us when the ferry wasn't working. And he said he's sitting there and talking to somebody. He looks down, and here's rooster tail sticking out of this bag. It was about a month before season opened.
Oh no.
Who was that?
Dad
Your
did
dad?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I killed my first pheasant.
Yeah.
Remember standing and waiting for the school bus. And there was that rock pile right below the house. And there were about 4 of them there, so I got the old long tom and ground sluiced one.
How'd you get it?
Huh?
How did you killed it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
With a gun?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Waiting for the bus.
waiting for the bus. Well, your mother, Christ, she beat a deer to death with a shovel.
I know, but I could just see that happening today. You would be having the SWAT team coming
yeah.
down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when she killed that deer and
Yeah.
said that
Came in the backyard.
it wasn't supposed to shoot that buck or something. I don't know what. You're going to jail.
Yeah. Well, I had that old shotgun, and every night, that's how Dad got me to go get the cows, because he'd let me have the shotgun, so I could pack the shotgun down. I only think I shot 3 shells in 4 years, or 3 years, but I'd pack that shotgun every night down to get the cows. There's always a chance there'd be a pheasant down there. So that's how I ended up, and then I was only, what year was that, Marv? Was that about 49 when we were over there, or 50?
I can't.
Yeah. So I was only about 8 years old, 7 years old.
And you were there for 4 years?
I think 3.
3.
We went broke in 3 years.
Was you with us when we delivered that load of hay?
No, but I heard about that.
And your dad says, "Turn here." And I turned there, and the load of hay just went right off.
I think you were going to Big Lake, weren't you?
Huh?
Going up the Big Lake with it, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good thing we lost that load there. If we'd have went in that guy's driveway, my truck would have went right over.
Oh.
Yeah.
If we lost it on the highway there, but if we would have lost it.
Right there in the yard, huh?
We went in his driveway. My truck would, because we loaded that truck way too much on it.
Too high.
That was
The
typical.
front end, every little bump, that front end would just go right off the ground.
So did your dad raise sheep?
Yeah, we had a few sheep, and for years we had sheep, but never more than 10 or 12.
Didn't you used to shear for other people?
Yeah, sheared for other people.
You shoot for our farm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, your dad said, "Turn here," so I turned. The old hay just went right off.
slow motion. And then when we lived in Bow, he butchered pigs. And he butchered a couple hundred pigs a year. Yeah, 1 or 2 every weekend, it seems like.
Whoa.
And that's how he made his extra spending money, his mad money, he called it.
Butchering pigs.
So did you milk cows there, or did you
Yeah,
have
we
beef
milked
cows? Milk cows.
But see, that's just about the time they went to the tank.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the tanker couldn't come over on the island. We only shipped probably 4 cans a day. And so to get grade A, you had to have a tank. And so we were getting grade B, and the feed cost more than we were getting for the milk at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you remember how many cows you were milking?
I don't think we ever milked more than about 21 over there. And then oats were the same way. We had to bring a combine. Well, Dad had a combine, but it didn't turn out. So he had Claude and Mike brought their self-propelled combines over there. But you couldn't get a truckload of oats on the ferry. You had to take 2 trucks and go across the ferry. Then you get there, and of course you had to transfer them onto one truck to get them to Hanson Peterson where we sold them. So it was a lose-lose deal there.
Whatever made him come to the island, you know?
Well, we were farming out here, and they sold that farm. So Beesner, his grandson lived right next to us.
Oh.
So anyway, that's how somehow they got together, and then Nick Beesner's grandson Bill got drafted in the army. He was over there milking cows, and he got drafted. So when he went in the army, we moved over to the island and tried farming. Wasn't a good idea.
Well, you met them.
Yeah.
You didn't know them before.
No. Him and Harry Fletcher was. Did you know Harry and Bertha?
Yeah, I remember.
Where were they at?
They lived in the cove. You turn right coming off the ferry and went along the waterfront. And then when you turned to come into, you swung down to the farm, there used to be a driveway going to the right. I guess it's full of houses back in there now.
Yes.
Back in Square Bay or someplace like that.
Cook's Cove, I think.
Is that,
Cook's
yeah.
Cove? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they called it, but that's where they lived. And they were logging on the island. Him and his brother-in-law. What the heck was his brother-in-law's name?
Dad?
Hey, Marv.
Daniels.
Oh. Yeah. Oh shoot. What is it? Daniels. I'm gonna.
Had 2 good-looking daughters, I remember.
Right. Well, there was 3.
Was there 3?
Lori was too young for you, but Julia and what was his? What was Daniel's first name?
Frank.
Frank Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forget what his wife's name was, but yeah.
Frank.
What was that, Glennis?
Glennis, yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, Frank died, and
yeah.
they got a divorce because
They did.
he was drinking really, really heavy, and it gave him cirrhosis of the liver, and he was pretty.
Did he leave the island? Because I know Harry and Bertha, they went down to the peninsula to Shelton. And we went down there to visit them a couple of times after they left the island.
Okay.
He went to work for Rainier Logging Company. He ended up being a bullbuck for him.
Well, Frank went into, same as Dad, longshoring.
Oh, okay.
And he tried to quit, but the guys just kept pushing it in his face.
Yeah.
And so he lost his family, he lost the house. So Glennis stayed there alone with the girls for a while, but then she moved. So, yeah, Julia, Bev, and Lori.
Yeah, Julia was the oldest, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Steve ran across him one time.
Oh, yeah?
Because he, being in the tractor business, he saw a lot of people.
Yeah. So what's your sister's name?
Andrea.
Andrea. I couldn't remember it. I couldn't remember it. Andrea. That's right. So, how many children did she have?
3.
3.
Yeah.
And you had twins?
Yeah, we had 3, and I lost 1.
Oh.
And so there's 2. A boy and a girl left. And the twins were a boy and a girl. I
Oh.
lost my son. And then she's got 2.
Yeah, that's pretty rough when you lose a kid, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly 20 years old is what he was.
Now, he fell off of a truck.
Truck, yeah, when they were bear hunting
Uh-huh.
and fell out of the back of the pickup.
There's a young man that lived on Guemes. In fact, they have a leaf sculpture right there where the school used to be. There's a big leaf sculpture, and he was still in high school, and that's what happened to him.
Oh.
The truck hit a bump and
Yeah,
he went flying out and hit his head. So and they have the leaves are a memorial for
Oh.
him.
okay.
But his mother, I don't know, they had like 6 boys or 5 boys. Warner, and she owns this farm.
Well, something I heard in the paper, is that the place they're making into a park or something?
Well, it's the Skagit Land Trust is
Yeah.
Well, they
involved
turned
in
into
that,
Skagit Land
and
Trust.
she gave part of that farm that went up the hill behind the house there.
Where
She
the
gave.
well, there was a spring up there. That's where we got our water, is out of that spring,
Oh,
Okay.
off of that hill.
okay.
Yeah, we couldn't run water at the house when Dad was milking because he took all the water down to the barn. It was gravity feed.
Okay.
So he took all the water at the barn to cool the milk. So when he started milking, Mom couldn't wash dishes or clothes or nothing. She had to wait until he got done milking. And then when he shut the water off, we'd get water up at the house again.
Okay.
So did you have a big cistern up there? Was it a concrete cistern, or
No,
it was
it
just
just-
right out of the ground?
Just a pool in the ground with a hose coming out of it. Then it was gravity feed to the barn, and then it came back up the hill to the house. And apparently the house was a little lower than spring because we had water at the house with no pressure, probably 5 pounds of pressure, 10 at the most, at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But we had pretty good pressure at the barn.
Yeah, there's a bee guy who lives in the house, but the house is and the barn's going to have to be destroyed, which is very sad. But there's not enough money to fix it. There's a big cable. I don't know if it shows it here or not.
Cable holding the barn up?
Yes.
Oh,
It connects back here and goes to a huge maple tree, I think.
oh,
And that's what's holding the
Yeah.
barn up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's holding the house up because it's just falling apart.
Well, the
There's
last
a
time
big
we were
enough
over
picture.
there, we came over to see Marvin Alice and Herb, and the house was still standing. Somebody was there,
Yeah.
and
He's still there. He's
Yeah.
been there for years and years and years.
yeah.
But I don't know which is gonna go first, the house or him.
Yeah.
He's not very well.
How old is he?
He's my age. He's 70.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember. There was a house just before you get to our old house on the left side of the road. Petersons lived there.
Yeah, Hal Peterson's and
Uh,
Dad would know.
I can't think of his. That's where Steve went to Alaska with him. He skippered a crab boat up in Alaska.
Okay, yeah, the
And-
Petersons. I think Hal is still in the fishing business,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know Hal's dad. Hal
Yeah.
was my age.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, his dad. Yeah, he'd be out of it by now.
Yeah.
In fact, later on he was a skipper on a ferry someplace
I
after
think
he
so.
quit fishing king crab.
Yeah. Dad sleeps a lot.
I think he's awake now,
He's
Yeah.
awake, but he
Is
doesn't
he?
hear very well.
waiting for you to stop talking.
I think he just,
Hey Marv, who lived in the old Peterson house there by
Peterson.
by the
By our old place.
that little house just across the road and by the Biesner farm there, that little yellow house. Hal Peterson, did you know him or his dad?
You don't know Peterson's name?
I'm trying to think. I don't.
You used to hay on there for somebody, but I can't remember what his name was either.
Speaking of haying, does Herb still have the yaks?
Yeah, he's still buying hay for yaks. They're the saddest farmers I know. They can't stand to see him butchered.
Yeah.
Well, when we were there, they had a baby deer, and he was
yeah.
buying carrots for this deer to eat.
Yeah. Now he's got about 10 of them because
Oh,
they've had babies, and then
Yeah.
the babies have had babies.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can't raise anything
and
there.
they still stay there. Oh, they're eating all the vegetables.
All the flowers, everything.
Yeah. Are they penned? Seems
Are
like
they-
that one was penned.
No, remember it was sleeping underneath
Oh,
the
okay.
picnic table when we were down there
Oh, it's-
visiting. It
it's
came
really-
out and
Yeah.
visited everyone,
Yeah.
then crawled under the picnic table and went to sleep.
Yeah, they've got too many of them now.
Yeah,
I
but
think
like you said, they'll never butcher them.
Yeah.
No.
Same with the yaks.
Well, what would you do with a yak? I mean,
Well, at
Okay.
one time he was talking about selling them. People wanted to buy it, organic type meat, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and they did real well, I
They-
think.
Yeah, they saw, but they don't have the heart to kill them,
Yeah,
Oh boy.
and so they're just feeding them.
Yeah.
But right now I don't know if he just stayed the weekend with his son or if they're going to stay while he's having treatment.
Yeah.
They weren't home this weekend. They were.
now where's his son live? Over here someplace, Bayview.
No, he lives down.
By the slough, I think.
Yeah.
On the corner.
Well, down towards there, but not
Yeah.
quite that far down.
Because he's buying hay from Jeff and Stacy for
Oh.
those. I think Sandy likes horses,
Yeah.
and he's buying from my nephew or niece and her husband. That's where they get their hay every year.
Okay. Yeah, Sandy. They have these really gypsy horses. Gypsy something. They're like a draft horse, and they have
Oh.
they're beautiful, fluffy white.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Clydesdale. We got that fluff around the feet.
I
And,
love
Right.
yeah.
Except they're always black and white, and they're always it's a certain breed,
Yeah.
gypsy something. The gypsies used them to pull wagons.
Wagons. Yeah.
Huh.
They're big.
Yeah. Strong.
Yeah, I can't remember gypsy something. So yeah. So you still farm?
I got 2 cows out here that I'll butcher in the fall, and I've got a garden. That's the extent of my farming anymore.
Get the cows in just to keep the grass.
Yeah, I buy them in the
pasture.
spring, and they keep the grass down, and in the
Okay.
fall I'll butcher them. I don't have to winter them. And
The neighbor wants helps.
Yeah.
He wants for his family.
yeah, he buys one and I buy one, and then I split mine with my daughter.
If we don't have elk and deer.
She's killed 4 elk in 4 years.
Oh my God! How about
Unheard
you?
of. She's got a hell of a good guide though.
Yeah, my guy.
But yeah, she has had.
And I've been lucky enough to to draw bull tags,
She
cow
drew
tags.
a big bull tag, cow
Yeah.
tags, and then she did
So-
get one spike.
I got a spike, yeah.
You get it right up the river?
No, we go over to Ellensburg,
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Menashtash area.
okay.
And cows.
Because I
Wow.
guess they got quite a problem with elk up the river
They
here.
do,
Yeah.
they do, and the game department's the biggest problem they got.
Mhm.
But they did open some more areas up this year. My nephew knows people up there, so he put in for a tag, and I don't know if he got it or not.
Yeah.
But
Did you get a tag?
no, we never got. I got a doe tag, but we never got anything
No
else.
special
No
tags.
special
We just
tags.
have regular hunting
Just
Okay.
this year.
yeah, we'll go over and try for a spike for
for
a couple
elk
of weeks or a week.
3-point deer.
Yeah.
My sister has a cabin in Carlton, over by
Twist.
Winthrop and Twist.
Oh, okay.
So we go over there and do our deer hunting.
But yeah, she's been luckier than heck on the elk. In fact, she's killed 5 elks. She never hunted until she was 60.
Till we got married.
Yeah.
My family are hunters, but I always just hiked in the woods. I didn't pack a gun. My sister did. Mom did a little tiny bit. My grandma did even. And so when we got married, then he showed me how to hunt. You know. So yeah.
And we had grandkids that had to take hunter safety
Mm-hmm.
so they could
yeah.
get their license. So she just went with them and took
Yeah.
hunter safety right along with them, and then got out. I think it was the second year you killed one.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
there was about a 3, 4, 5 years where she didn't get anything, and then she's killed 4 in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a friend who, I think he's basically given up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't hunted.
He used to hunt every year, and then
Herb used to
Yeah.
hunt with us all the time. He went over for quite a few years over to Ellensburg and
he
hunted
did.
elk with us. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Herb was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Was he married? He wasn't married to Sally, was he?
No,
Married
no.
to Bev.
He was married to Bev then, his first wife.
Mm-hmm.
And his first wife is a sister to one of my best girlfriends. Yeah.
Oh,
So I think they were in my brother's class.
See, and I never did know. I went and got drafted and went in the army, and Ed, is it Ed, his son?
Yes, one.
I never did know his mother.
no. Yeah. Is Ed from his first marriage or
I
second?
think so.
I don't know.
He's from
I
what?
think so.
Ed was from.
Herb and Bev wasn't Ed's.
No,
It's not.
Herb and Bev had 2 girls,
Oh, okay.
Wendy and
Oh yeah, Wendy.
I forgot the other one's name. And then like I say, I got drafted, and then they got divorced, and he married this other gal, and
Oh, I didn't
Had
realize
Ed.
that. I didn't realize he had
and then
3 marriages.
I went to Lester Logan, and he stayed up here. So there was probably 15 years that we didn't see one another.
So did Sally and Herb have any?
Not
No.
together.
No.
No,
They didn't. Okay. Got
I
it.
think what Sally had 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. And I don't remember their names.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew Sally's dad, never did know her mom.
Yeah, she was a pet.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot that too.
Ted
Sally
Pest.
Beth.
Yeah, Ted Pest's daughter.
Just, it was just too hard. It's not recovered.
No.
So you got anything to say to got anything you want to ask him? He didn't bring his ears.
Oh.
I went to the restaurant.
Get my hearing aid.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to the restaurant the other day and didn't have my hearing aids, and I wasted my time because there was so much talking, and I couldn't hear a word anybody said. So, and then was it yesterday?
No, a couple
Maybe.
days ago.
Yeah, I pulled in to stop at the restaurant. No hearing aids. I just came home.
But you take those hearing aids, and them hearing aids picks up all the dishes and
Oh yes.
all the voices and stuff.
Yep.
But the people that you're talking to, you can't hear them.
Yeah.
And then the wind that gets me. Put them in and get out in the wind blowing, and they just whistle the whole time.
Oh yeah.
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 So I'm supposed to remind him when he goes to coffee. Got hearing aids?
Well, he discovered it when we got in the ferry line, but we were
Oh.
third trip going off, so,
Oh.
Was there that much on there now?
well,
Today it was.
yeah.
I tell you,
Oh, Tuesday.
of course, your ferry's a hell of a lot bigger than the one we were on, but, and sometimes it'd be third or fourth trip coming off the island,
Well, it
and
hasn't
it was
changed
a pain.
much because, you know, there's more cars than there were,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to matter. There's still
yeah,
Bigger
yeah.
ferry, but more cars.
certain ferries, yeah. And the 1 o'clock, there's usually 3 or 4 loads.
Really?
Now, is there still quite a bit of building going on over there, or is it slowed down a little?
No, it's still busy.
Yeah, real busy.
Where do they get their water? I mean,
That's a big issue on the island.
I'm sure it must be.
Yeah, some of the wells have failed, and
Yeah,
And
mostly in about September is when you're probably really noticing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're restricted on how much water you can use?
Some places,
And
yeah.
some places on the island, yeah.
Now there is no community water over there. Is there?
There's several different little water
there is
associations.
little-
Yeah, and of
okay.
course the whole east end of the island has a water. You know, the rock up there has
Oh.
a water system.
I mean, they're actually building on those rocks, huh?
Oh my God! Didn't you drive that?
Holiday Hideaway?
There's
Big
Yeah, like I
ones.
said, we got our water from that spring,
Mm-hmm.
and we never ran out. But boy, I'll tell you, sometimes it was just a trickle.
Yeah.
How deep do you guys? Like your well? How deep is your well?
ours is I think about 100. How deep is the well on our place there? Is that 160 feet?
I think it's about 65 feet, I think.
And then yours is 90 feet. The new one.
I just put my well in new, but I'm only 15 feet.
No.
Yeah, I put a sand point out here to water my garden
Oh.
instead of using the city. We got what they call Edison Farm water, and we get there's 4 wells up here on the hill that they pump water for this whole area,
Okay.
and well, I've
Use
got a
the
sand
iron
point.
water for our garden.
Yeah, just for the garden, and it is so irony that you can't let it touch the house or anything, or it'll stain it.
Yeah.
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 And
We
the
see
moss
that.
in the ground goes black, so that's great.
Now, is
For
you
your
guys have
garden.
good water?
Yeah.
Or you don't
Yeah.
have to have water softener or anything?
No, not where we're at, but the other end of the island and places you have to
Yeah.
have it. It just depends on where you're at.
And anymore, if you buy near the cliffs, you know.
I remember I come visit your dad on a Sunday,
I just saw that you wanted to know.
and he set off a big dynamite where he's living up near the railroad.
Yeah.
And the church was in service and all that mud and stuff.
Were you there that day?
Yeah, I was there that day when that
Holy,
happened.
what a mess.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
The church people come out of the church and everything just,
Oh.
boy, he set that blast off.
He had
He had
pitching
mud
powder.
all over the cars and
Oh, and that one chunk, there was a chunk of wood about that long and about that big around that probably weighed 50 pounds. It would come down and crease the side of the house.
Oh.
I mean, it went right through the roof if it had hit the. But
Oh.
why he did that, we never were able to figure that out.
well, I just got there just after it happened.
Yeah,
Was he clearing land?
no, that slough behind the house. He wanted to make it water in there year round,
Oh.
so that
He was blowing out the ditch, wasn't he?
yeah, but he wanted water in there so that he wouldn't have to put a fence up.
Okay. That's where the mud is.
So he and bed springs, it must have been an old garbage dump or something. Tin cans, bed springs, milk cans.
Yeah, but in the old days, we just buried everything.
Yeah, and it was a
Remember
mess. It was a mess.
Mm.
Yeah. I think everybody dug a big hole
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
throw their stuff in.
They used to, on the island, they dumped it over the cliffs.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Is there still? Do you ever dig clams? Are you a clam digger?
Yeah,
North Beach down
yes,
there.
that's,
God, they were nice clams.
yeah.
Back in, I don't know. I figured they'd be dug out by now, but
Nope, they're still
yeah.
going strong.
And then there was over on the Guemes Channel side,
Mhm.
about where that ditch that drains our place over the hill. There was, you go down over the hill right there, and there was a. They weren't those big white clams, but there was a
Right.
lot of them.
And I think it was your dad who went down there to get oysters, and he convinced me to try a raw oyster,
Oh really?
It would be my
Oh
dad.
yeah.
and I did.
Yeah,
But it just tasted like seaweed to me.
yeah. Him and
Yeah.
Lorna Hauer, who had an oyster bed out here in Samish Bay, and they'd sit on that oyster scow and drink moonshine and eat raw oysters. Now, I could never get one down.
My
To this
grandpa
day
did.
I couldn't.
Yeah, grandpa did.
Well, I had to eat it. I'm at whole
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
because the
That was
texture
raw.
was disgusting,
Yeah.
slimy, green.
How old were you that he made you do this? I wonder.
Oh, you couldn't have been very old then.
I wasn't
Yeah.
very old. I was
Yeah.
just
Probably.
10 or
Didn't know.
Oh,
any
you
better.
weren't even 10. I don't
weren't
think.
even 10.
Yeah.
I know he convinced me to eat it, and I
Oh,
did.
My.
Yeah.
I still,
You
it
remember?
didn't bother me. I mean,
Yeah.
I
But you
didn't
remember it.
dislike it, but
Yeah.
no, I remember it very
Yeah,
well.
Yeah. You knew it was different.
Well, I just, I kind of wanted to spit it out,
Uh-huh.
but I was
You couldn't do it.
determined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your dad was watching me, so I just went, down I went.
Yeah.
But I never ate a raw one after that.
No, I mean, they buy them here at the tavern, oyster cocktails, raw oysters with some cocktail sauce on it, and I don't know why anybody would pay for something like that.
Well, Herb and Sally have some tide flats right down that area you're talking about.
He told me
And
did.
he was trying to raise oysters,
Yeah.
but they're a lot of work. They were down there, and of
Yeah.
course they'd have to go down at midnight when the tide was low, and
Yeah, I planted a bunch of steamer clams, vanilla clams, and I planted 3,000 at Blanchard. I had a little place down there, and then some out in front of Norm Hoffman's, and then where my daughter lived on Samish Island, and the best ones were here at Blanchard, but I lost access to where I had them planted, so I'll never see those. But
Yeah, if I get clams, then I need to get some so I can get some for him.
mm,
Because he doesn't eat well.
oh,
nothing tastes good anymore.
Yeah.
So I bet he'd like some clams.
Oh, I wish it wouldn't taste good to me. I blame it on the shots. And the guy told the doctor said that I gain weight and lose muscle mass and all that, and bone density, and
Yep.
sometimes I think the
What kind of shots are they?
He's got prostate cancer, so they're
Okay,
some hormone shots.
hormone shots.
Yeah, he's had the radiation, and so now he's doing hormone shots.
That
He has hot flashes now.
Did you ever have them?
Oh yeah, I still have some.
I
It's
never
just,
had them.
Just a couple, yeah. Yeah.
but sometimes I think the cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure putting on the weight.
Well, I was put on not hormones, but steroids.
Mm.
And boy, I gained weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was for I had sciatica,
Mm-hmm.
and I was
Okay, Humboldt.
Oh yes, yeah. Now are any of those kids over there on the island?
Yeah, we were, Smokey borrowed your dad's truck to haul some sawdust into his calves or something. And it was stuck, and he had your dad to pull him out with that truck. And your dad was burning the clutch up trying to get it out of there. He says, now Smokey, don't you take that truck back in there again. Just stay out of there. And so we went to Mount Vernon to get a load of grain. We come back, we look out over the ferry, and there was Smokey's. He had the
grader.
there was a delivered oil,
Oh,
Standard Oil truck, stuck. He had
can't
a
give it
Standard
to him.
Oil, tried to pull your dad's truck out, stuck, and then he got hold of what's a dig with an old army truck in there, and it was stuck. And so what does he do? He goes up and gets your dad's tractor to tried to pull them all out. Yeah, had the tractor stuck. And so here comes me and your dad across the ferry. We looks up there, sees all them equipment all stuck out there in the field. Oh, your dad oh my God.
Well, I remember Smokey.
They had to go down and get Frank Daniels to bring the bulldozer. They had the bulldozer come
With
up
the
and
winch.
pull them all out.
Yeah.
And the Standard Oil, he had a cable and stuff that it was all tore up and stuff. And Standard Oil didn't get a dime or nothing out of all the damage they did on it. They were over a whole day lost of that Standard Oil truck
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuck.
Smokey, he was raising chickens. He worked for Boeing's, raised in Seattle, and he decided he wanted to be a farmer. So he went to Guemes Island to raise chickens. And what a fiasco. Remember, were you there the night they smothered all those chickens?
Oh yeah,
My God.
we got in and kicked all those chickens and they all suffocated.
Yeah. And
Died
chopped their heads off. If they bled, they went and
He had everybody on the island butchering them and stuff, and he was selling them to everybody he could on the island.
Couldn't make a go of it. So
And then one time, he roofed his chicken house,
oh, I think you told me, yeah.
and he started at the top and roofed it down, so all the rain went into the. Yeah, Smokey, he should have stayed
Well,
in
he
the
had,
city.
Yeah.
he had them, he was putting the floor in, and he had the floor was all over everywhere, and I said, Smokey, I said, the chicken can't even walk on that. We had to tear it all out, and
Yeah,
oh, he was something else.
Yeah.
he had a store after
Oh, he didn't know nothing.
yeah, he ended up buying a store in Anacortes, and I think that's where he died over there. He still had that store, but he sure as hell wasn't a farmer.
Yeah, he put a roofing. He bought roofing for put on a building. He put that roofing
The shingles.
upside down,
Yeah.
upside down, and everything on the roof. His brother come along, looked up at that smoke. What on earth did you put that roofing up there? It was completely upside down, and
Yeah. And he never ever asked for help.
he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Just did it.
Uh-uh.
He just did it.
Yeah.
I know one of the boys lives in Anacortes.
Oh, one of them does. That means
Yeah.
there was Alan and Sam. I think there was three of them, wasn't there?
Yeah. Sam, I think, lives in
And
Anacortes.
Sis used to keep track of them.
What was their last name?
Humble.
Humble. Okay.
And the other brother, George,
Yeah, yeah.
lived.
Lives up on the other side of the road.
He died young, too.
Now, Buzz had a sister. Is she still on the island, or is she gone?
She's gone. She was.
Yeah, Boynes awarded him when he retired. They awarded him a pretty good sum of money when he rewarded him
Yeah, yeah.
when he left Boynes.
Well, he probably made money after he left if he screwed up as bad at Boeing's as he did farming.
That's all he knew was Boynes.
How old was he when he left Boynes?
They had young kids, so either he got married real late in life, or he started at Boeing's.
But he wasn't old enough to retire.
No,
He just
no, I don't
quit.
think so.
Okay.
No.
How old is Marv now?
He'll be 92 in August.
Okay.
How's your mom?
Mom's 95.
95, yeah. I've got an aunt that's 104.
Wow.
Yeah. She's on hospice now. She
Yeah.
fell and broke her arm, and they're
She-
so they've called hospice in because she just
She can't-
sleeps all day.
Yeah. Can't
But
maneuver at all
They can
anymore.
get her to eat some chocolate pudding or something like this.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they imagine she's just gonna get pneumonia pretty soon, or
Mm.
Is that on your dad's side or your mom's?
Mom's side, yeah.
mom's
The
sister.
last of moms are
Yeah.
brothers and sisters.
My mom, we just had her. She's at Creekside now, to assisted living, and just moved in December. Otherwise, she was living by herself, and she's really healthy. She's forgetting a little tiny bit of stuff, but otherwise, she's just doing great.
And she
Yeah.
she's doing a lot better at Creekside, and she just feels better, and she looks better, and
Well,
acts better.
She's sitting at her home, and she'd see all the stuff she needed to do or used to do, and no longer could do. The washing the windows and mowing the lawn and I mean, even the last year, I think she was painted her deck, you know, or porch and stuff. So she's very active, but she could, you know, the moles are out there or the spiders are on the walls. Things just really started bothering her, and now she didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's
And it was her own suggestion to go in there, so it was great.
yeah.
Dad and Marv would be combined, and your dad come over and supervise.
Oh, the grandpa.
Grandpa
Yeah,
did?
yeah. Your grandpa would come over.
I have a picture that has, I think, the white horse Dick of Grandpa's with the combine.
Oh.
I mean, there's no people you recognize, but
yeah.
the combine's there, and I think it was the white horse that was Grandpa's.
Oh.
Dick was there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to have
It is. Yeah, I've got
wood heat.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't usually start it when we get back from elk hunting, which is the middle of November, is when we start it. And up until then, we just use electricity and propane. And then we'll run it until I burn 4 rows.
Yeah.
And then we go, and that's usually March.
And
And
then I make him get into some of the other rows. We're not quite done with the fire yet.
and this is the first year I haven't had my woodshed completely full. I need one more pickup load
Yeah.
to have it.
Then he has 3 years worth
Yeah.
of rotation.
But it is easy to get as it used to be.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, huh?
Yes.
Besides me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it just
Our wood source.
the
is,
wood source. I'm gonna have to
Awesome.
buy a load of logs this coming spring. It'll be the first time I've had to buy a load of logs. Because I was still logging when
Fire at this barn was Harold Dolph was working on a motor that was for a milking machine, and it caught the barn afire.
oh the heck. Was that young Bill or old Bill?
Huh?
Was that young Bill? Beasley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And young Bill come into the schoolhouse, wanted all us kids to come down and fight fire.
That would never
But when they
happen
come down,
nowadays.
They had the fire out by
Yeah.
the time we got down.
Yeah, there used to be a silo right beside that barn.
But,
And then there was a rest shed. And then on this spot right up in here, there was a granary.
yeah, there was an old granary.
Yeah, and then over here was a machine shed.
Yeah.
I remember Dad got a ticket with the truck. And he had to get all the lights. There was no lights on the truck. And he was driving it on the highway. So the state patrol gave him a ticket. And he had to get all the lights fixed and report to the state patrol. And show them that, yes, the lights are fixed. So he did. He brought it home, backed the truck into the barn, into the machine shed. Steve came off the hill with the tractor, with our baler, and the damn tractor kicked out of gear and got away from him. And he's trying to keep it in the road. And he went by the truck and he took all the grill, lights, radiator, and everything off.
Steve did that?
Huh?
Steve did
Ever
that?
know what the name of the people that was in there years ago before your dad was there?
No, other than Beesner's, last I know. Yeah. See, Claude,
I don't,
And
I don't
Alfred-
remember what their name, but there
Alfred, Claude's
were
dad,
3 girls in the
he
the
was,
school when I was going there. There was
Beesner's. That's how he got to.
Their folks were working that farm.
That wasn't Barron's, was it?
Huh?
His name
No,
was.
it was way before Barron.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how Dad got involved in it
Okay.
through Claude
Okay.
and
To find that
Nick,
property.
Nick Beesner. Yeah.
They were up to a school reunion. The girls were, and I don't remember what their names were. I wish I'd when I was to that reunion, I wish I'd went and visit with them. I never. I was kind of bashful, like I wouldn't visit with them. I wish I had a.
You went to school on Guemes at all?
No, Sis went to school on Guemes. I went to Anacortes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she had first and second grade on Guemes.
And how old is she?
2 years younger, so.
She's 2 years younger than me, so she's 74 now.
74 maybe.
Or she'll be 74.
Yeah, that was quite a barn built in the days when
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful
on
barn.
the island.
Yeah, you'd want that one to be preserved.
I know, but we
Can't
the-
do some
Old
kind
man
of historical
Beesner
thing, you know?
had it built.
we
Oh,
tried to
you-
figure out
you
every
have
way
it
we
built?
could
Yeah.
to save it, but
Mm-hmm.
the problem is that it's a danger,
I don't know how come
Yeah,
he
okay.
and,
Beesner had
a
that-
liability,
owned
and
that
they're
farm.
afraid.
I don't. You know, he owned Hoffman's out here, and he owned Lorney's place on on Fur Island, and they owned several farms here.
Well, Beesner never ever lived on that property.
I don't. Well, his
Oh.
young Bill did.
Young Bill did?
Young
Okay.
Bill milking cows when we moved there.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
Was that a son of his or a
They,
grandson?
a grandson.
Okay.
He died pretty young, didn't he?
Yeah. He lived on Bayview, and he was married to Ted Hess.
You're supposed to have your eye drops half
Okay.
an hour ago.
We'll let
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
We'll come back and visit again.
Yeah, do that.
think it's some more.